the Bible that tells about some people had to like quickly make bread and eat and go.
The Israelites.
The Israelites where?
In Egypt. Hi, this is CRC. Stays at home. Hey, Mommy, what are you doing today?
How about we make bread?
Mommy, why can't we just go outside and buy bread instead of making ourselves?
Good question. I think making bread at home is healthier. I know what I put in the bread. You see, you need bread flour, and I add a bit of wholemeal flour, and we put in yeast and also salt. Okay, so this has been mixed and it's been rising for more than 12 hours already. And so we're gonna knead this a little bit and then we're gonna bake it off. Hey, do you remember when Moses had to lead the Israelites out from Egypt? They had to make their own bread. But what did they make? No, not manna. The kind of bread that has no yeast. Why? Because they're in a hurry, right? They cannot be kneading there and wait for hours for it to rise, and then they bake it off, and then we need to start eating. So God told them, hey, I want you to make bread. It's called Yeah, correct. Unleavened bread. That's very good, Renae.
Unleavened bread.
Yes. Can you please put a bit of flour? Sprinkle on top, and then we'll take this out. So what is kneading, you ask me? So this is what you do. Real kneading involves a lot of more steps. But this one, because it's an easy bread recipe, we put a bit more of the flour on top. We kind of pat it down, right? Fold one time. Bia. Easy. 2. Bia. 3. Bia. 4. Bia. Literally flip it over. Now, we want to let it rise a bit more before we put it in there. Okay? Now you turn on the oven. Just clean the cast iron pot. Carry it over. Can you? You can. It's okay. So you put the whole cast iron pot in here. We let this run for 20 minutes. Okay? Alright, so it's hot. You don't get too near.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very hot. It's over 20 degrees. So this is really hot. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a bit of this flour, sprinkle a little bit in there. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to transfer it over. Okay, so I'm gonna put the pot back in and we're gonna let it bake for half an hour covered and the last 5 minutes uncovered. Alright, we come back after 30 minutes. Part of the Bible where God demonstrates His power to save and how He's over evil, like Pharaoh, and how He's going to fulfill His promise to Abraham, who God said, I'm going to make you a great big nation. What are the promises God gave to Abraham? Many children. He'll bless Abraham.
And all the world will be blessed too.
Blessed through him, right? What was the song again?
His name was Abraham. God said,
I'll give you
lots of children,
even though you don't think I can. And I will give you land. And I'll make you a great big great nation, and all the world will be blessed through you. Yeah, so those were the promises that God gave Abraham. After 400 years in Egypt, God's people had grown into a great nation named Israel. In fact, Israel had so many people that the land was filled with them. Do you think the Egyptians like having all these people in their land?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because they only want the land for themselves.
Most likely, right? So guess what happened? Pharaoh, the king of the land, hated the people of Israel. Pharaoh hated Israel's God too. So he treated God's people like slaves. He made them work and work. He was so evil that he even killed some of God's people. See how hard they had to work? So Pharaoh made Israelites slaves. God's people were in trouble. They cried out to God for help, and God heard them. Do you see the little baby boy?
That's Moses.
That's Moses? Yeah, he was God's answer to the people's cry for help. His name was Moses, and one day he would rescue God's people.
Yeah, that's exactly.
When Moses grew up, God spoke to him. Moses listened to God, and then Moses did what God told him to do. Now he went to Pharaoh and said God's words. Okay, what did Moses tell Pharaoh?
Let my people go!
Yeah, but the king said
No!
Yeah, that's what Pharaoh did. He was so evil, he hated God, isn't he? So he did not listen to God. Moses told Pharaoh that if he disobeyed God's word, terrible things would happen to Egyptians. Did that make the king decide to listen to God? No. Pharaoh still refused to let God's people go. Oh dear.
Naughty Pharaoh.
Can you imagine what it would take for Pharaoh to let God's people go? So many things happened to them, 9 altogether, isn't it? But Pharaoh still refused to let go.
Naughty.
God's great sign.
Part 7.
So remember earlier we read God's people were made slaves and they cry out to God, God, please help us. So God is going to show them, God is going to rescue them.
And the demons
Right.
show us.
At last, Pharaoh stopped pretending to be God. He listened to God and told God's people, go!
Everything your Pharaoh just
Quickly
said
go!
go.
Can you see the grandpas and the grandmas, the men and women, the children and grandchildren and the flocks and the herds and all going? Where are they going?
To the promised land.
Yeah, God did keep his promise to Abraham. He did make him into a great nation. When God's people left Egypt, there were almost 1 million of them. Do you know what God did next?
Let's go to the promised land.
After God had saved them from Egypt, God gave this great nation his good word.
What is it, God?
Moses went up on a mountaintop to meet with God. What did God give Moses?
The 10 Commandments.
I want to talk about what we, as in Cheche and Mommy, did today. When this happened, this is
The blood.
the blood, God's great sign, right? So that very night, the Israelites were told, after they killed the lamb, they put the blood on the post. They were supposed to cook over fire the lamb and make what bread?
Unleavened bread.
Unleavened bread. What is unleavened bread?
Without bread. Bread without yeast.
Correct. A bread without yeast. Now, why do do you think?
And it's very flat.
It's very flat. Why do you think they have to make bread without yeast?
Because there's no time.
There's no time, you're right.
They have to rush.
Within that night, God is going to judge the land of Egypt.
Okay guys, hurry up.
Yeah?
Let's eat
They're supposed to eat quickly and pack up and leave where?
Egypt.
Leave Egypt.
Cut the last supper.
Quickly, eat your food.
Get your bags, let's go!
Yeah, let's go. Now guys, if you look carefully, right, the blood protected over God's people. And when the angel comes and judges, he will pass over this household that has God's great sign.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Hey guys. So compared to us today, when Jeje and Mommy were making bread, Mommy put yeast in there. Yeast takes a long time. It takes hours for it to rise.
I thought that was
No, not minutes. They take very long time.
even 20 hours.
About 12 hours.
Why?
That's just Mommy's recipe of being lazy. Can't leave it that right. But anyway, you need at least 2 to 3 hours for it to rise. Yeah? And they didn't have time. So they did it. Oh! Just nice. The bell rang.
Okay, yeah!
So what we've learned today is how God saved His people. And then where is He bringing them to?
The promised
The
land!
promised land. And what did He give them?
The 10 Commandments! The 10 Commandments!
10 Commandments, His good word, so that they know how to love God, they know how to love one another.
You want orange toy?
Wow!
Look here.
We can eat all of them.
That is the bread.
Whoa!
Does it look nice?
Yeah.
Alright, that's all. We can have fresh baked bread.
Surprise! Thank you for watching CERC Stays at Home. To find out more of videos, subscribe to our channel and press the bell button to watch more stories. And also, if you are a Christian, get this Bible and read it every single night. Bye! Thank you for watching our video.
Oh, come
Thank you for watching our video. And make sure you subscribe.